singing, oh, precious.
He freed me from all my fears. I prayed to the Lord and He answered. He freed me from all my fears. I will trust His word. Hey, we're not scared, we're set free from our fears. Hey, we're not scared, we're set free from our fears.
Jump over the blue obstacles and duck under the orange ones. Ready, set, go!
I will follow you, God. I will live for you. I will keep pressing on until I have reached the prize. I will move toward the goal. I won't stop till I'm done. I will run this race till I cross the finish line. All I want is more of you, God. All I need is your love and grace. You've taken me to another level. You've given me brand new life. All I want is more of you, God. All I need is your love and grace. You've taken me to another level. You've given me brand new life. I will follow you, God. I will live for you. I will keep pressing on until I have reached the prize. I will move toward the goal. I won't stop till I'm done. I will run this race till I cross the finish line. All I want is more of you, God. All I need is your love and grace. You've taken me to another level. You've given me brand new life. All I want is more of you, God. All I need is your love and grace. You've taken me to another level. You've given me brand new life. I will follow you, God. I will live for you. I will keep pressing on until I have reached the prize. I will move toward the goal. I won't stop till I'm done. I will run this race till I cross the finish line. All I want is more of you, God. All I need is your love and grace. You've taken me to another level. You've given me brand new
Hello everyone, Dumelang Sanbonani, good afternoon. I hope you are looking forward to this day. It's filled with nothing but fun. So firstly, we are going to start off with the story of Jesus, how he was crucified, how he died, and how he resurrected. I hope you are all excited about this. Let's tune in.
Jesus. He was a real person who lived on this earth 2,000 years ago. He was born in strange circumstances in Bethlehem. He grew up in Nazareth with his mother Mary and her husband Joseph. When Jesus was about 30 years old, he started teaching people about God. He said he'd come from God and did some amazing miracles to prove it. He made sick people better, fed thousands of people with only a little bit of food. He told a storm to stop, and it did. And he even raised some dead people back to life. Some people loved it, but Jesus worried the leaders. They didn't like what he was saying and doing, so they arrested him and sentenced him to death. The soldiers took Jesus to Golgotha, which means place of the skull. There, they gave him some wine mixed with a drug to ease the pain, but he refused to drink it. They nailed Jesus to a cross and gambled to see who would get his clothes. It was about 9 o'clock in the morning when they nailed him to the cross. On it was a sign that told why he was nailed there. It read, "This is the King of the Jews." The soldiers also nailed two criminals on crosses, one to the right of Jesus and the other to his left. People who passed by said terrible things about Jesus. They shook their heads and shouted, "Ha! So you're the one who claimed you could tear down the temple and build it again in 3 days. Save yourself and come down from the cross." The chief priests and the teachers of the law also made fun of Jesus. They said to each other, "He saved others, but he can't save himself. If he is the Messiah, the King of Israel, let him come down from the cross, then we will see and believe." The two criminals also said cruel things to Jesus. About noon, the sky turned dark and stayed that way until around 3 o'clock. Then, about that time, Jesus shouted, "Eloi, Eloi, lema sabachthani," which means, my God, why have you deserted me?" Some of the people standing there heard Jesus and said, "Is he calling for Elijah?" One of them ran and grabbed a sponge. After he had soaked it in wine, he put it on a stick and held it up to Jesus. He said, "Let's wait and see if Elijah will come and take him down." Jesus shouted and then died. At once, the curtain in the temple tore in two from top to bottom. A Roman army officer was standing in front of Jesus. When the officer saw how Jesus died, he said, "This man really was the Son of God." After the Sabbath, Mary Magdalene, Salome, and Mary, the mother of James, bought some spices to put on Jesus' body. Very early on Sunday morning, just as the sun was coming up, they went to the tomb. On the way, they were asking each other, "Who will roll the stone away from the entrance for us?" But when they looked, they saw that the stone had already been rolled away, and it was a huge stone. The women went into the tomb, and on the right side they saw a young man in a white robe sitting there. They were alarmed. The man said, "Don't be alarmed. You are looking for Jesus from Nazareth, who was nailed to a cross. God has raised him to life, and he isn't here. You can see the place where they put his body. Now go and tell his disciples, especially Peter, that he will go ahead of you to Galilee. You will see him there, just as he told you."
That was the whole wonderful story about Jesus Christ. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you understand it. So now we're just going to do some song. Please sing along and let's have fun. Then I'll take you to the next activity. Let's go.
God's not dead.
No,
he's alive. God's not dead. No, he's alive. God's not dead. No, he's alive. I'm feeling him all over me. Yes, I do. I feel him in my heart. I feel him in my bones. I feel him in my toes. I feel him in my home. I feel him in my church. I feel him in my school. I'm feeling him all over me. Yes, I do. No, 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 no. God's not dead. No, he's alive. God's not dead. No, he's alive. God's not dead. No, he's alive. I'm feeling him all over me. Yes, I do.
That was nice, isn't it? I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I know you thought Easter this year is boring. We have no activities, we won't have fun, there is no treasure hunt. Well, guess what? Fun is coming right your way. We are going to make an Easter bunny craft and then write a letter to Jesus, which we are going to paste at the back of our Easter bunny craft. Now, I'm going to show you how we're going to do this Easter bunny craft, and then I've already made some items ready so that we don't take a lot of time, and I'm just going to show you how we're making this. The only color I had was pink, so you can use any color you have at home. The principle is work with what you have. So you are going to have 5 sheets of A4 paper white. If you don't have blank papers, you can see also I don't have blank papers. I'm using my school paper books. And then you're going to need a scissor, going to need some glue, you're going to need a pencil, going to need a marker, black one. You're going to need any color thing you can use to color in. I used a highlighter. You can use a crayon or anything you have at home. And you need some water glue. If you don't have water glue, you can use a press stick. If you don't have a press stick like me, you can use a chappies. So I've already chewed some gum in advance so that it's ready to do the sticking. You will need a thread. I'm going to use a wool. That's what I have. Then you're gonna need some round item or equipment. I have my container here, which I'm going to use. Now that's all you're going to need for this beautiful craft of ours. I hope you are ready. Now we are going to start. There we go. This is how you'll have your one side of the paper, and then you do the same to the other paper too. Then you will end up with 2 papers like this. Okay, all right, now we continue with the rest of our craft. Okay, I hope you have washed your hands. By the way, they are clean and well disinfected. I forgot to tell you that you will need 3 coins as well. And then in my case, I'm using a 1 rand coin, a 2 rand coin, and a 10-cent coin. Okay, so now we start. This is how we're gonna do this. You're going to take your paper and glue it together. Glue it together. You stick them together here. And you have 1 long paper like this. Okay, next step, gonna take a thread. You just cut a little bit, cut what you will need. Then you hold this like this. You tie your thread in the center. In the center, like this. Remember, I said to work with what you have, so you can work with any color or any thread you have at home. Then cut off the loose ends. Okay, now this is what we have. Now turn the side, this side, all of it. We're going to glue it again. Okay, then you combine the two sides nicely all the way to the top. Make sure they stick. Okay, and then you come to the other side. You do again like that. Like this, and you make sure it sticks. Okay, so on this one I don't have a perfect circle because the yarn was not completely at the center on the other paper, but when you do it, make sure it's nice and perfect like the one I did before. Okay, there we go. We have our first part. Then quickly you take the next pair of sheets to minimize time so that you don't do the same thing twice. Just fold it into half like this. You take a scissor to trim the ears. If you can't trim them with a scissor, draw them first, then trim after you've drawn them. So quickly we go. I can do a shape with a scissor without drawing. These are my rabbit ears, and cut them. These are the rabbit ears. Then you can take your color pen to draw in. Start at the top, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Then you can color in the inside part so that you have your ears like this. Okay, and then you take another paper again. You're going to take your coins and draw 3 circles. The big circles with the 2 rand coin, you are going to just trim them only and cut them out. Then you take your 10 cent, then you trim like this and you color it in. And then lastly, you take your 1 rand to do the eyes. So the eyes are like this, and you know to do the eye, you do the half in. That's all you need. Then when you are done, take another sheet to do now the feet. So to do that, you just need to take a pencil and draw nicely with just 3 things, and then you open the holes, and then you do the holes. So you have your feet like this. So to minimize time as well, just make sure you fold the paper when you're cutting so that you have 2 feet at the same time, and then the other blank one on the other side, you also just draw in again the circles for the feet. And then your last paper, number 5, you take your container from home and then you just trace the whole circle. That's where you're going to write your letter to Jesus. Then we are done, guys. Now we can assemble our craft. Remember I said I don't have anything to put in. I'm gonna use a bubble gum. I'm just going to take it back to my mouth so that I can use it effectively. Okay. you have pasted your feet. Then the two ones which you drew with a 2-rand coin, gonna use them. Just put them next to each other. Okay. And then the pink one which you drew with a 10-cent, you put it here. And the last ones which you did the eyes with the 1 rand, they go right on top. Those are our eyes. They go right on top. Okay, and then lastly, you take our rabbit ears like this, and then you put it on the front side, and then you stick them at the back like this. Stick at the back like this. Okay, this is our final easy craft. Then lastly, you would have written your letter already. Then you also just going to stick it at the back once you are done writing. There we go. That was easy, right? We have done our Easter bunny. Now go and pray and enjoy your activity. Thank you.